So they escorted us through and made sure we didn't stop.
All right, it is 6:31. We'll call the Monday, September 8th, 2025 City Council meeting to order. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
I have no additions tonight, Mayor.
Hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will take us to public comments. If there's anyone who would like to discuss anything that is not on the agenda, please come forward. Excuse me. Seeing none, we'll close public comments, move to consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled for further discussion? Hearing none, I will look for a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. With that, we will move to the adoption of resolution granting a variance to reduce the setbacks for a driveway from the required 30-foot setback by 20 feet for a 10-foot setback. And with that, just for full disclosure, this is the council members' home that we will be discussing, and any decisions made tonight will have no influence at all based on her status of the city.
And that would be me abstaining from.
Okay, and Councilmember McNeely will be abstaining at her request. So with that, Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. So as discussed, we have a variance request. Down it here. Give me a little bit. We had a variance request come from Nikki McNeely, who has a property at 601 Ridge Road. What they're looking at doing, I should have brought that up, is they would like to widen out their driveway a bit and then extend into towards the parking pad area. Give me a quick moment. Apologize for not having this up. There being the property in question. So we currently have a driveway existing right here with a parking pad out set right here. This is approximately 6 feet off. 6 feet off the property line, and the request is to reduce the required setback. So this is public right-of-way here, and where our ordinance states that you need to be 30 feet away from that, given it's a gravel road, services two properties, and the likelihood of it ever being a full city street on the lower end. The request came in, could we extend out the driveway further out and then come close to coming back to marrying up with the existing line, which would so the maximum footage that can be extended out here is 30 feet for driveway width, and that's part of the resolution conditions. And then that would then come out to marry up, and the distance from the lot line to the proposed extension would be 10 feet, and that then preserves the drainage and utility easement area on the north side of the property. As part of the variance process, there was a public hearing that was required. The public hearing was set before the Planning Commission on September 2nd, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. The public hearing was opened. There was nobody in attendance to give comment on it. There was no comment received from the public to the planning staff. The public hearing was closed, discussion was had, and the Planning Commission voted 6-0 in favor of recommending the variance to the City Council. So with this variance, there are some conditions applied with it. Those conditions are: 1, variance expiration. The variances shall become void 1 year after the approval date if the applicant has not commenced construction on the improvement unless an extension is granted by the City Council. 2, any comments by the city engineer shall be satisfied by the applicant. My understanding, there were none. 3, city permit. The appropriate building permit or zoning permit shall be approved and issued by the city prior to any work commencing. 4, the driveway width. That the driveway shall not exceed 30 feet in width at the front property line and shall not encroach into the drainage and utility easement along Ridgeway Road. And 5, a survey shall be required showing the driveway width, driveway setback to Ridgeway Road, and lot coverage. If there's any other questions I can field, be glad to do so.
So can you talk a little bit, was there notification to residents in the surrounding area that were performed?
Yes, so we are required to send public hearing notice to all residents within 350 feet of the affected property, and that was done.
And were there any comments?
None received.
Perfect, thank you. And for the record, in case we missed it, this is 601 Ridge Road, correct?
Correct.
Thank you. All right, any other questions for the city administrator? So hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-16 with the 5 conditions.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and abstention.
Aye.
That motion carries 4-0. Thank you. 4-0 and 1 abstention.
Mhm.
So with that, we will move to consider approval of quotes for City Hall parking lot expansion.
Thank you, Mayor. We have received quotes back for the City Hall parking lot expansion project. Bolton Bank solicited 4 quotes for the asphalt extension. 2 were received back. One from Valley Paving in the amount of $28,325. The other from Northwest Asphalt in the amount of $29,830. We obtained a quote from CNC Contracting for striping and crack filling work in the amount of $7,553. They've been the contractor of choice that the city has used historically for this type of work. For the concrete work, we had 3 quotes, one from J. Reed Excavating LLC in the amount of $21,391. And I will note, I talked to J. Reed this morning. He had some additional follow-up questions, and we found there was a minor error in his quote that we got corrected. He had everything in there for the concrete work, but the way he had talked with his concrete subcontractor, there was a miscommunication on the removals amount that was calculated. So we updated that. So his quote is actually $21,891. There was an additional $500 for removals in there that was corrected. Didn't affect the outcome. Just want to give an update on that. JR Contracting with a quote of $28,013. SJB with a quote of $39,496. So the total of the low quotes will be Valley Paving at $28,325, CNC Contracting at $7,503, and then J. Reed Excavating with the updated $21,891, which puts the updated grand total at $58,069 on that. So the asphalt quotes came in favorable, lower than we were expecting. So total project cost is coming in under.
Perfect. Would you mind going on the map, Nick?
Yes.
So looking at this, is there any reason we want to extend out on the white area going north to marry up with kind of where the logs are right now, to marry up with the existing paving? So kind of bring this up like this.
Are you bringing it up to this corner here?
Yeah, right up here or right near it, because I know it dips down a little right here. So just for access in and people backing into this door, as long as we're doing it, would it make sense to extend it?
If council wish to amend this plan to go ahead and include that, it would be additional cost. Talk to Valley about an amendment on that. We certainly could.
I just think aesthetics wise, it'll look even better, let alone usability.
Did you say there's a slope there?
Well, up here, near up here, it won't go. So right now it's paved up here, right?
Yep. So this is the
And
pavement
about
line here.
3 feet from where this one is, it slopes down. So it might come about 3 feet, it won't go all the way up.
Okay.
Seems to make sense as long as we're doing it.
Is the
Could we quote it at least and see what it would be?
Not paved concrete.
No,
Paved.
Yeah, bituminous, right, it's bituminous, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so asphalting it all the way up. And as everyone leaves, you'll see where the logs are right now is kind of where I'm thinking. Just seems to make sense right now, but
Yeah, if you'd
maybe we
like to
can
amend
vote it
that.
and bring it back and see what it would be.
What I would recommend for tonight then is get the updated quote from Valley on that so we can approve that as an alternative.
Right.
And then I would go ahead and still approve the other two quotes for concrete and crack filling and
Yeah. It's about another, 50 feet? Maybe 45 feet?
But the sloping until the end, so there wouldn't require a lot of buildup or anything.
Yeah, if you stop before the slope, I think it would.
I see the logs.
Yeah, so right now.
So right now, this comes out roughly 47 feet this way and jogs south.
Yeah, so that's what we're proposing tonight.
Yes.
And if we could just take it up to about here, seems to make sense.
Was there a shed being built?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Is the baseball club
For-
still getting a shed?
To my understanding, that
Is that what the
is
materials are for?
fallen through.
Okay.
That has fallen through. But if you're asking where the shed would go, the shed was planned for this area to the north.
Oh.
They're talking about doing asphalt
Oh, okay.
here. So the shed was planned for
Right.
here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that makes sense to me, especially for events and stuff.
Well,
backing in
events and
out.
backing, it gives
Yep.
them a little more room to back in there. And I
Mhm.
mean, as long as we're doing it and setting up and staging, it seems to make sense to me. But I don't want to hold off on doing that. I think we should approve what we're doing. And do they know when any of these guys are going to come out and do is it in the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think Nick has the concrete.
So as a project as a whole, flip back to this. I talked with the J. Reed Concrete for doing this work and then the access work. They want to get started next week on Monday with concrete work. Thankfully, that doesn't really impede what we're doing here. Since there's no concrete work happening up there, they
Right.
can still proceed here. We will have the parking lot closed off once they do the removal work. Because they're going to take out, they want to do it all in one go. So they'll take out this, they'll take out here and then take out here, pour, square this all up, pour all of this in one go. Once that's poured, we need about a week for that to cure out. We don't have any, for this coming week, I'm sorry, not this coming weekend, the week after. So the weekend of the 20th, we don't have any rentals at City Hall.
But if you're gonna do an amendment, you gotta wait till next city council to approve, to
Uh,
complete.
Well, you can kind of
We
do
could
a-
approve it not to exceed.
Well,
So this right now, I mean, this is 28 grand.
So let me round that out really quick. So the concrete work is here, and here, and then the jog here.
Yep.
That work can all get completed and it's not going to affect adding this in. The pavers are looking at coming in late October, I believe it was, to get it done.
Oh, okay,
So there's time
I see.
to get this. So the concrete work will happen first, asphalt second, and then crack filling and striping will have to happen after that. I talked with Tom from CNC, and he says they can go later than the asphalt guys can for crack filling and striping. So it
Okay.
all works out on that front.
Okay.
So my recommendation for tonight is if you want to get the quote alternative, we can come back for that. We would approve J. Reed and CNC to do this work
Yeah.
because we have those firm ones, and then we'll just come back and make a decision on this at the next meeting.
why was it never really thought about before?
I don't know if we just, I mean, it was just kind of keeping it straight off with our discussions were this way, but, and I hate to throw a wrench at last minute, but that's just kind of how it was. But now when I relook at it, it almost makes sense just,
And there weren't
Well-
any other plans
Yeah.
for that area?
and because this came in a lot cheaper than what we had projected.
Right, we're
We were
trying to be
talking
cost
70 grand
conscious
at
with
one
this.
point, yeah.
Okay.
And this really only affects the parking scheme. So
I mean,
this is
my only like hesitation is just I want to think through that is like we lost a lot of trees and green space in that area. Would that be better suited not being asphalt and more of a green area? I don't know. I'm just, you know how like
That's a fair point. I mean, that's
it,
fair.
I would like, I don't want to just, I know we want to add it to the project, but if we still have a little bit of time, you know, like actually I want to see it in person, like think through, like,
Yeah.
would it be better just to have more, you know, because people might be driving. I don't know. It wasn't included. I get why you didn't in the first place, but we did lose a lot of trees. Like, are you better off because of that slope by just putting in grass and some trees and some,
And that's fair. Part of mine too is the parking lot gets used a lot now for the city celebration. It gives more hard surface for some of that stuff. Why don't we go ahead and approve all this right now as is? Sounds like we have time to look at and get another quote to see what it would be to extend it long as they're out here.
I would think.
And then
Valley-
that'll give council time to go look at it too on your
Yeah.
way out and see where we're talking and see what your thoughts are.
Correct. That'll give time for Valley.
Yeah.
2 weeks should be plenty for
Yeah.
Valley to come back with an alternative.
It's
So you
just
appro-
adding
approve-
feet, right? I mean,
And then we approve everything scope as is, and then we come back in 2 weeks with the alternative. We look at that cost and going, yep, add her on.
and where are we putting snow?
It'd be in this area.
Okay.
Do people drive in there as it is without being paved?
Not anymore.
right now they don't because it's not paved.
Because there usually is a lot of snow if we have a snowy year. Because usually, if you think before where the splash pad was, I mean, we used to have like a big mound.
Mhm.
So I'm just also thinking,
Well,
Take
it might
a-
be nice for that to be paved then, because then the plows aren't ripping up the dirt.
Take a look on your way out.
Yeah.
And it's
Yep.
really where the logs are, almost exactly where the logs are laying right now is what I'm thinking, but, and I'm sorry to last minute on that, but. All right, with that, any other questions for city administrator? With that, I'll look for a motion to approve Valley Paving for the quote of $28,325 for the current project. Crack filling with CNC contracting for $7,553 and J Reed Excavating for $21,891 for a total of $58,069 as current, with getting an additional quote from Valley Paving for the added part.
Would that add to the striping?
I'd propose we don't stripe it. We just leave it open for
open
people.
out,
Yeah,
okay.
I'd propose we don't add striping for parking. It's more of a convenience for getting in and out
Gotcha.
and extending hard surface for city celebrations or, and hopefully we'll be turning that into maybe a tent and beer gardens and that sort of thing. So,
Just want to make sure it wasn't going to increase
yeah,
that
but
quote
it
too.
won't include striping or would not is my proposal.
and then you said 58,000, but the only additional was $500. So wouldn't that be 57,869?
Yeah.
769.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I double added
Good
there.
catch. Thank you. For
At the same
Added
57,000.
time.
eight because I
It was
took the
just
8 from up here and brought that
rounding up.
down.
I just went with what, yeah,
That's what I thought too.
mayor math.
I just want to make sure that it's,
I was giving him
I know
the
what
benefit of the
everybody
doubt.
meant, but I wanted to make
Right.
sure
No,
that it
that's a
was
great catch.
accurate.
Thank you.
57,769.
Yeah, $57,769.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. I appreciate it, and I'll look forward to seeing what the additional quote comes in at. With that, we'll consider approval to write off outstanding water tower repair.
So welcome back to this topic. This, as directed last go around, it was earlier this year. We did have the city attorney draft letters and send them out once again at council direction. Those were sent out and we received no response back once again, but we made the last good effort. Now we're coming back as we approach the end of the year and we're starting to think about audit, bringing this back to city council and recommending final write-off since we didn't receive anything back.
So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the write-off for the outstanding water tower repairs.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? And thank you, Nick. This was back from last year, if everyone remembers, and council's decision at that point was to write it off, but have the attorney send one last effort, sending a letter, get in contact with the people who did the work to try to get the money, and it was with no success. So with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And with that, consider approval of hot air balloon permit for Valley Ridge.
Thank you, Mayor. This is would be our fourth hot air balloon permit that we would be looking at. Valerie Rich, she knows the Markerts, who was our first and original. And she was directed this way to get a hot air balloon permit. She would like to fly out of Westridge Park, the same location on the south side that they've been flying out of. So down in this area here. So they enter in off the alley here, bring the vehicles down into this area, and then they will blow up the balloon and launch from that location. So that's the only location she's applying for. She's turned in her certificate of insurance, and that looks to be in good order. So we are cleared on the hot air balloon permit.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll look for a motion to approve the hot air balloon permit.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? And Nick, we perhaps discuss that. Is there any reason we can't move this over to have this staff approval versus council?
You certainly could. It was the original ordinance was drafted for these permits to go in front of city
And
council.
now that we aren't seeing issues, maybe at one of our meetings, we can bring that back to maybe just have staff approve these.
Sure.
We haven't seen any concerns as far as I know in the last 2 years.
People seem to enjoy watching.
Oh, I think it's
Yeah.
neat.
And
Yeah.
it seems just staff should be able to approve these unless I'm missing something. But let's talk about this maybe at a next meeting or work session. And with that, we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. With that, we'll move to city council reports. Councilmember Helton's report on.
Had a planning commission report or meeting. We're still working on redoing planning and zoning ordinances within the city. So
Perfect. Yeah, that's
things
an
are moving along.
ongoing process. So thank you. Councilmember Fausch.
I had an EDA meeting last week and we discussed how the businesses were doing with their grants and finalizing the grant application for 2026.
Wonderful. Thank you. Councilmember McNeely.
Same as Sam, just an EDA. meeting.
Councilmember Jackson.
Tomorrow night's meeting, nothing since then.
Perfect. And for me, I don't think I've had a meeting. The
Eagle.
disc golf open house and tournament went well. So I want to thank both Jason and Andy for all their hard work in making that a success. It was a great turnout. The tournament was full. As could be, I think 32 people had signed up for it.
Awesome.
And of course, thank you to Craig from Innova, who helped with the tournament and got all that organized, and played against Sports Out of Buffalo, who donated some gift certificates for the
Oh,
raffle.
nice.
So I appreciate everyone who turned out. It was a great event. And of course, thank you to staff and Public Works for everything they did to get the course ready. So with that, I'll look for motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
We have motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. Thank you. And with that, we can jump right in to the workshops and call that to order at 6:55.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have any updates to the budget. So tonight I just want to recap where we're at overall with the budgets or with the levy. So the general fund is sitting pretty well. We're proposing to have the general fund levy at $420,445, which reflects what we've been talking about from the word go. We have the CIPs there, which reflect what we've been talking about, and then the bond debt service, all coming down to that total levy of $1,319,879, which matches what we levied in 2025. So we're proposing a flat levy increase. Again, you've seen this spreadsheet plenty of times, so keeping it flat there. In the general fund, we're showing revenues over expenditures. I think it was about 8-ish thousand. So in the end, if all holds true, we could still lower the levy in December. At this point, when the resolution gets passed at the next meeting, we can't lower it, but we can't raise it. We can't raise it, but we can lower it in December at this point. So with that, we're looking at a tax rate, having the tax rate slide down from 37.79% to 35.69%, assuming this holds true.
And just a reminder that we will be approving this at the next meeting for preliminary to get to the county. So if you have any questions going forward or concerns, make sure to reach out to Nick before that, because we'll have to get this preliminary done by the end of September to the county.
And then for our truth in taxation public hearing, as required by state law, we'll be having that at the first meeting in December, December 8th at 6:30 PM. I'll give a nice presentation on that, as I always do. And with luck, we'll only have one or two people who attend who are questioning their valuation, and we have to tell them that that's the April meeting over with the county, and then they can scoot on out.
And maybe some reminders in the water bills or social media would be nice to get it out there now, let people know. So perfect. Any other questions on the proposed budget? Hearing none. Anything else, Nick?
That's all I have.
All right, perfect. We will adjourn then. Thank you.
I wouldn't hate a free ticket. Peter sleeps at some point.